Bringing the hands in front of the heart center, rubbing them back and forth, gazing down at your palms or allowing the eyes to close. Feel the warmth grow between the palms. And then with an inhale, place the palms over the eyes. Exhale with a sigh. Draw the heels of the hands down to the chin and pressing the palms together in front of the heart, resting the thumbs at the sternum. Welcoming a silent intention for your practice. And I invite you to this purposeful intention. I'm going to repeat it 3 times, and you can repeat it after me silently to yourself or out loud. I am grateful for this time to care for myself. I am grateful for this time to care for myself. I am grateful for this time to care for myself. We'll seal this intention in with the opening of a 1 sweet Om. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And then inhale. Lowering the hands down to your lap, drawing the chin to the heart, gently blinking the eyes open and lifting the gaze. Rooting yourself in the seat below you. So bringing your right hand underneath the right sit bone, rocking back and forth a couple times. So you're touching your right sit bone with your fingertips. And then notice by bringing your both hands back to your lap, how the right buttock feels versus the left buttock. If the right one feels a little bit more wider or rooted, we would say in the practice. And if the left one feels a little bit more plump. So this is the power of self-touch and creating that greater awareness of our own bodies in space. So let's make ourselves even. Left hand underneath the left sit bone, rocking back and forth a couple times. And then bringing your hands to your lap. So the sit bones are part of the support system that the pelvic floor is attached to. And so we're bringing awareness to that space. But there's also part of the pelvic floor that's attached to the pubis bones in front and the tailbone in back. So bringing one hand to the front at the pubis bones right above the urethra, one hand goes to the back at the tailbone right about the anus area. And so you're feeling those bony parts, and that's the length and width of the pelvic floor. So this is just a little guideline to help our support system in the pelvis. And bringing the hands back. Take a deep breath in and let it go. Lastly, hands wrap around from the back, the spine, the low back, so from the middle of the back, and they wrap all the way around the hip points at the top into the navel area to the midline of the body. And do that a few more times. So wrapping your hands from your spine at the low back all the way around to the front. So here we're bringing awareness and touch to the transverse abdominals. And this will all support the videos that come ahead. So one more time, the transverse abdominals are like the corset muscles that wrap and hug our intestines, our organs in, and they work with the pelvic floor to draw in and up and wrap in. And so they would work simultaneously together as a draw in and up and a release, which we'll go through in a few moments. But for now, just that self-touch awareness is all that is needed. We're going to move on to the back, and I like to use blankets behind me. You can use cushions or pillows at home too. And when we come to lay on the back, find in the middle of the mat with your sit bones and roll onto your forearms and then onto your back. So if you're using pillows or blankets like me, the blankets are underneath the tops of the shoulders and at the neck and for the head to rest on. This way, it just helps to bring the rib cage down. And so the hip points and the bottom of the ribs can be in the same line. So the ribs aren't protruding out, which is what I have a tendency to do and what many of us do. From here, feeling your back in neutral and noticing any adjustments that you want to make. The feet are on the floor. The four corners of the feet are rooting down. The four corners of the base of the big toes, baby toes, inner and outer edges of the heels. And you can move your feet from front to back to feel that stability. Hands are going to come to the hips, and we're going to envision a clock with our pelvic bowl. So the lower part of our pelvis here, the pubis bones in the front that you touch, and then you're going to touch the navel, your belly button. So pubis bones are 12 o'clock, navel is 6 o'clock. So 12 and 6 o'clock of a circular clock. And we're going to rock the hips up to 12 and then back over down to 6. And just rocking the hips to 12 and to 6. See if you can inhale to 12 and exhale 6. In breath goes to 12, exhale 6. And just rocking at the pace of your breath. A couple more times. And then come back to neutral. Now, bringing attention to 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. So 3 o'clock is the top of the right hip point, and 9 o'clock is the top of the left hip point. So you can have your hands at those hip points. And so rocking very subtle. It's super subtle and creating that awareness from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So the body barely moves, but you're going to feel the muscles in like your pouchy area. And we all have a pouch, unless you've had a hysterectomy, then you don't have a pouch because the pouchy part is our uterus. So we'll always have a little pouchy part. But you're going to feel those muscles in between the hip points engage. And so there's a gentle and really strong abdominal engagement as you rock from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Now, incorporating a clockwise circle. So inhale to 12, and then start the exhale over to 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then the inhale over to 9 o'clock and 12 o'clock. So now you're moving in a circular fashion and making that circle as thoughtful and kind of small so that you're not moving the upper torso. The legs are barely moving. They're only moving in relation to the pelvis moving. And so the in-breath starts after the exhale breath. So the exhale will come from 12 o'clock over to 6 o'clock, and then the in-breath, 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and then the exhale breath. And so move in the opposite direction, which might be really challenging because maybe going clockwise was way easier than the other way. That's how it is for me. So moving this way, I have to move a little bit slower, more awareness, more mindful. And that's okay because over time, the pace will pick up if needed and wanted. So one more circle in this direction. And then returning your spine back to neutral. Extend one leg out at a time on the mat, really wide, even off of the mat, and extend the arms out. So if you used blankets or pillows like me, let them go. We don't need them anymore. And a big X. Take a deep inhale in, stretch out through the fingertips and toes. Exhale with a sigh. One more time, big inhale in. Exhale out. Now keeping the arms in an X, walk the feet back to the mat so they're in the middle, so you feel what the middle feels like. Now walk your right leg over to one side so that the whole leg is still on the earth but off the mat, and then start to walk the left leg over. So we're starting to create a C shape with the whole body. Left arm is going to start to glide. It's not leaving the floor. It's going to glide over towards the right side of the mat. And maybe even the torso moves a little bit too, but the shoulder blades, the hips all stay on the floor. You can cross the right ankle over the left if you wish, but it's not necessary. And let the left arm be heavy into the earth. Breathe into the left side of the body. This is a great thing to do if you have some time to just lay down on the floor, maybe with your kids or when no one else is around, and just come into this pose and just be. Over time, this will all start to release any tension or tightness that you might be feeling. And then uncross the top leg if you have a cross or bind, and walk the feet and legs back to center and start to walk over to the other side. Maybe crossing the left leg over the right and gliding the left arm over towards the right arm over towards the left. Breathing into the right side of the body this time. About one more breath here. And then slowly unwind back to center. Bringing your hands down next to your hips, palms to the earth, 1 foot in at a time to bring the feet back onto the earth. Walk the feet a little bit close to the heel or to the hips, the sit bones. 4 corners of the feet rest on the earth and the spine is neutral. Use your upper arms as leverage, as support. Press the palms into the earth too. Inhale, the pelvic floor will soften away, the belly will dome up to the sky. As you exhale, the pelvic floor will draw in and up, navel towards the heart, which brings the feet into the earth and lifts the hips up. And sometimes it's just the idea of lifting the hips up. They don't need to come off of the floor. Inhale when you're up, so belly domes, pelvic floor softens. Exhale, pelvic floor draws in, navel to the heart, lower the hips back to the earth, neutral spine. Inhale, release the pelvic floor, belly domes up. And then begin again. Exhale, pelvic floor in, navel to the heart, lift the hips to the sky. In breath releases the pelvic floor, and you're staying here. Exhale, pelvic floor draws in, navel to the heart, lowering the hips back down. One more time. Inhale, softening. Exhale, drawing in and up. Inhale, doming, softening of the pelvic floor. Exhale, drawing the pelvic floor in and up, navel to the heart. Inhale, release. That's it. So you're only moving on the exhale. From here, scooch the hips over towards the right side of the mat. Roll on to your left side, using the strength of your hands and arms to sit up into a seated position. You can sit on the edge of a blanket or pillows if you'd like. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, left hand comes over to right leg. Right fingertips behind you, and you're twisting from the pelvic floor, from the navel, rib cage, heart, shoulders, neck, and then head. Breathe a couple breaths here. Your breath will be challenged, so you might come out a little bit with the inhale, and exhale will deepen. Inhale, unwind back to center. Exhale, other side. So right hand to left knee, left fingertips behind you, twisting from the navel, rib cage, heart, shoulders, neck, and head. And then inhale, unwind, reach the fingertips up to the sky. Little baby back bend as the heart reaches up. Sit bones, tailbone root down. Big breath here. And exhale, sweep the palms around you, lowering your hands slowly down onto your lap. If you've been sitting with your legs crossed in a certain direction, maybe flap them. So we'll bring the other foot in front. We're going to come into a breathing meditation exercise that is really beneficial for the mind. this will help to give you a little bit of a boost of energy too. So this is the humming bee breath. There's a couple different ways to do it. So this is one way that we're going to do it today. You're going to take an inhale through the nostrils, and an exhale will come out as And an option to do is allowing the fingertips to gently cover the eyes and then closing off the ears, the little flap on the ears, so that you hear the very deeply within. So you're going to go at your pace. So a long inhale, a really long exhale until you can't breathe out anymore, and that opens up the long inhale again. You're going to do this breath 7 times. So one set is inhale, exhale with a that's 1. So go at your own pace, allowing the eyes to be covered or the gaze shifts down, and pressing the thumbs gently on the soft part of the earlobe, and then breathing in deeply and exhaling out with a And then when you're done with your 7, the hands will come back into your lap, and just sitting with your natural breath, noticing any sensations that have risen. And allow yourself to rest in this silence for a couple more minutes, soaking in the physical practice and the breathing practice and all that you are. And then returning your attention back to your physical body, feeling the support of the legs and the sit bones, the muscles surrounding the spine as you lengthen the crown of the head to the sky. Feeling the sense of calm that you've been able to cultivate. Returning the hands to the heart, resting the thumbs at the sternum, gently tipping the brows towards your fingertips. In gratitude for yourself, for carving out this time for you in a form of self-care and self-love. We'll seal this time with a long sat and a short nam. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. And then inhale. Sat.